Your brain is running a program right now that you didn't install. It's been making your decisions for years, and you think it's you. But what I'm about to show you will expose the invisible architecture, keeping you exactly where you are, and reveal the one thing that actually breaks the cycle. What if everything you know about change is wrong? Let me ask you something brutal. How many times have you promised yourself you'd change? New year, new you. Fresh start after the breakup. Clean slate on Monday. And how many times did you actually follow through? If you're honest, probably not many. And here's what messes with people's heads: they blame themselves. They think it's about willpower, commitment, or not wanting it bad enough. But that's not even close to the truth. The truth is way more unsettling. You're not failing at change. You're succeeding at something else entirely, staying consistent with who you've always been. And your brain is designed to make that happen, whether you like it or not. See, your mind isn't wired for transformation. It's wired for survival. And survival means predictability. It means keeping you safe inside patterns that already worked. Even if those patterns are destroying you now, they kept you alive before, and that's all your brain cares about. Here's where it gets dark. Every single day, you're running on autopilot. Studies show that about 95% of your behaviors are unconscious. You're not choosing, you're repeating. And those repetitions, they're grooves carved into your neural pathways over years, maybe decades. Every time you react the same way, think the same thoughts, make the same excuses, you're reinforcing the old code. This is why self-help feels so frustrating. You read the books, watch the videos, get hyped up, and then nothing sticks. Because you're trying to override years of programming with a few hours of inspiration. You're bringing a match to a wildfire. And the most disturbing part, your brain will fight you every step of the way. It'll create anxiety when you try something new. It'll whisper doubts when you're about to break through. It'll manufacture perfectly logical reasons why now isn't the right time. Not because you're weak, because you're wired to resist change at a biological level. Your nervous system treats transformation like a threat. And until you understand that, you'll keep losing the same battle. So here's what I need you to sit with. What if the person you think you are is just a collection of outdated survival strategies? How your identity became your prison. Here's something nobody wants to hear. You're addicted to being yourself. Not the real you, the version you constructed to survive your childhood, your trauma, your environment. And that version is running the show. Think about it. When someone asks who you are, you probably tell them your story. I'm the anxious one. I'm not good with money. I'm just not a morning person. These aren't facts, they're sentences. And you've been serving time ever since you said them. Your identity is basically a cage you built and then forgot you had the keys to. It tells you what you can and can't do, what's like you and what isn't. And here's the trap: every time you act in alignment with that identity, you get a hit of consistency. Your brain rewards you for being predictable. But here's what actually breaks people. That old identity was built when you had limited options. Maybe you learned to be quiet because being loud wasn't safe. Maybe you learned that wanting things leads to disappointment, so you stopped wanting. Maybe you decided you weren't smart enough, attractive enough, worthy enough, and you've been collecting evidence ever since. Research from Stanford shows that people will literally reject opportunities that contradict their self-concept. They'll sabotage success to stay consistent with who they believe they are. It's not that they're scared of failure, they're terrified of success that doesn't match their story. And this is where it gets psychological. Every time you're about to change, your brain scans for identity conflicts. Is this something I do? If the answer is no, you'll feel resistance, discomfort, like you're being fake. And most people interpret that feeling as a sign to stop. But it's actually a sign you're breaking through. The 95% stop when it feels wrong. The 5% keep going until it feels right. They understand that discomfort isn't danger, it's transformation. It's the old self dying so the new one can emerge. A study from University College London found it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit. But what they don't tell you is that during those 66 days, your identity will scream at you to quit. It'll tell you this isn't who you are, that you're trying too hard, that you should just accept yourself. And that last part is the cruelest trick of all, confusing acceptance with resignation. Real acceptance means seeing yourself clearly and choosing to evolve anyway. When was the last time you did something that your old self would never do? Why most people are addicted to almost changing. Let's talk about the most dangerous drug in the world: potential. It's the high you get from planning, dreaming, imagining the person you could become, and it's killing your actual progress. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That feeling you get when you buy the journal, download the app, sign up for the course. That rush of possibility. That sense that this time it's different. And then, nothing. Because consuming the idea of change became a substitute for actual change. This is where most people live, in the gap between knowing and doing. They collect strategies like Pokemon cards. They binge productivity content. They optimize their morning routines on paper, and they never actually start. Because starting means risking failure. Planning means staying safe. Your brain learned that thinking about change gives you the dopamine hit without the discomfort of doing it. It's the perfect scam. You feel productive while staying exactly the same. But here's what nobody tells you. Action creates information. Until you actually do the thing, you're just theorizing. You don't know what works for you. You don't know where the real obstacles are. You're shadow boxing with an imaginary future instead of wrestling with your actual present. And here's the part that's going to sting. Every day you spend preparing is another day you're reinforcing the identity of someone who prepares but never acts. You're literally training yourself to be a professional planner, and that becomes who you are. There's a concept in psychology called analysis paralysis, where overthinking prevents action. But it's deeper than that. It's not just paralysis, it's addiction. Because thinking feels productive. It feels safe. It feels like you're doing something. Meanwhile, the 5% who actually transform, they're not smarter, they're not more prepared, they just have a different relationship with uncertainty. They act before they're ready, they start before they have all the answers, they learn by doing, not by studying how to do. And the most powerful shift happens when you stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What if I don't even try?" Commit. One word. What's the one action you've been avoiding because you're waiting to be ready? Drop it in the comments. Write it down. Make it real. And if this hit different, hit that like button. How the 5% reprogram reality. So what actually separates the people who transform from the people who stay stuck? It's not motivation. It's not discipline. It's not some secret mindset hack. It's something way simpler and way harder. They decided the discomfort of changing was less painful than the discomfort of staying the same. That's it. That's the line. On one side, 95% of people choosing familiar suffering. On the other side, 5% choosing unfamiliar growth. Same amount of discomfort, different direction. The 5% aren't more confident. They're more committed. They don't wait to feel ready, they act and become ready through action. They treat their fears like data, not gospel. And most importantly, they've made peace with being bad at something before they get good. Here's what they understand that most people don't. Change isn't an event. It's a process of micro decisions. Every single moment, you're either reinforcing the old pattern or building a new one. There's no neutral. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're voting for who you used to be. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're voting for who you're becoming. And those votes add up, not in days and moments. The moment you don't hit snooze, the moment you say what you actually think, the moment you do the thing that scares you even though your hands are shaking. That's where transformation lives. The 5% also do something radical. They decouple their identity from their behavior. They stop saying "I am" and start saying "oh." Not "I'm lazy, I've been choosing rest over action." Not "I'm bad with money, I haven't learned financial literacy yet." The first one is permanent. The second one is temporary. A study from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who view their traits as malleable are significantly more likely to achieve lasting change, because they see themselves as works in progress, not finished products. So here's the question that actually matters. Who are you becoming with each decision you make today? Because 5 years from now, you'll either be grateful you started, or you'll be making the same promises to yourself you're making right now. The future is built in moments like this one. Evolve. That's your word. What's the smallest thing you can do today that your future self will thank you for? If this made you think differently, smash that like button. If it challenged you, comment what hit hardest. And if someone you know needs to hear this, share it with them. Real transformation spreads when we share what moves us. Subscribe if you want more content that doesn't just entertain, it rewires. Disclaimer: this content is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not replace professional mental health support, therapy, or counseling. Personal transformation is a journey that may benefit from guidance by licensed professionals. Always prioritize your well-being and seek help when needed.